little girl was about to sell the last piece of her father for $100. And the man who stopped her? Nobody saw it coming. Sophia was 9 years old. Her dad, Marcus, was not a rock star. He was not famous. He was just a regular guy who drove a delivery truck during the day and played guitar at night. Every single evening after dinner, he would sit down in the living room, pick up his old acoustic guitar and play. Nothing fancy, just him, the strings, and whatever song was stuck in his head that day. Sophia would curl up on the couch next to him and listen. Sometimes she would fall asleep to the sound of it. That guitar was the sound of her home, the sound of her dad being alive. Then one morning, Marcus didn't wake up. A heart attack. Sudden and silent, the way the worst things always are. Sophia was left without her dad, and her mom was left without the person who paid the bills. Within weeks, everything started falling apart. The rent was late. The phone was ringing with numbers they didn't want to answer. Sophia's mom was working 2 jobs and still coming up short. That's when she sat Sophia down and told her, gently but honestly, that they might need to sell some of Marcus's things. Sophia didn't cry. She just nodded. Because even at 9 years old, she understood what it meant when your family was struggling. So Sophia carried the guitar to a local flea market one Saturday morning. She found a small table, set the guitar down carefully, and made a handwritten sign with a marker. $100. She had no idea if that was a lot or a little for a guitar. She just picked a number that felt like it might help her mom. She sat there for 2 hours. People walked past. Some glanced at the guitar. A few asked if she was okay. Nobody bought it. And with every person who walked away, Sophia held herself together a little less. Because selling this guitar wasn't just selling a thing. It felt like she was erasing the last real proof that her dad had existed. That he had sat in that living room and played and laughed and been there. And then a man stopped. He was older, silver hair, dark sunglasses, a black jacket. He walked with the kind of slow confidence that made you pay attention without knowing why. He stopped right in front of her table and looked at the guitar for a long moment without saying anything. Then he looked at Sophia. He asked her whose guitar it was. Now, if you don't know who Ozzy Osbourne is, here's what you need to understand. This is a man who has been called the godfather of heavy metal. He was the lead singer of Black Sabbath, one of the most legendary rock bands in the history of music. He sold over 100 million records across his career. He had been on stages in front of hundreds of thousands of people. He was a rock icon in the truest, most literal sense of the word. But what most people don't know, or what they forget, is where he came from. Ozzy grew up in Birmingham, England, in a tiny house with 5 siblings and parents, who worked constantly just to keep the family fed. They didn't have much. Some weeks they had almost nothing. He knew what it meant to watch your parents stress about money. He knew what it felt like to be a kid, who couldn't fix the hard things happening around them. Music was his escape, his way of surviving all of it. So when he saw a little girl sitting at a flea market with her dead father's guitar and a sign that said $100, something in him didn't just feel sympathy. He felt it in his bones. The story didn't stay quiet. Someone at the flea market shared it online that same afternoon. By the next morning, it had spread everywhere. Thousands of people sharing it, commenting on it, crying over it. The image of Sophia clutching that guitar while Ozzy walked away became one of those rare moments on the internet where people actually stopped scrolling and just felt something real. Ozzy never made a statement about it. He didn't post about it. He didn't do an interview. He just did it and walked away. And somehow that made it hit even harder. But here's the part that really gets you. A few weeks later, Ozzy's team quietly reached out to Sophia's family. Not with cameras, not with a press release. They arranged for Sophia to begin guitar lessons with a professional music teacher, fully paid for, and they sent along a note, handwritten, that said something along the lines of, "Your dad's music lives in you now. Learn it, play it, don't let it stop." Sophia's mom framed the note and hung it on the wall, next to a photo of Marcus holding that same guitar. Sophia is still taking those lessons. By all accounts, she is getting good, really good. There is something about this story that feels almost too perfect to be real. A rock legend, built on decades of music and survival, walks past a little girl trying to hold on to the memory of her father. No cameras, no PR strategy, no announcement. Just a man who understood what music means to people who have nothing else to hold on to. And in one quiet moment at a flea market, he gave a child her father back. Not literally. Nothing brings Marcus back. But that guitar stays in Sophia's hands now. And every time she plays it, even badly, even just a few notes, she is keeping something of him alive that almost got sold for $100 on a Saturday morning. That's what music does. That's what one human being choosing to see another human being does. Marcus may never be famous. His name may never trend online. But his daughter is learning to play his guitar, paid for by a rock legend who grew up with nothing and never forgot what that felt like. Some people walk past. Some people stop. Ozzy stopped.